Chat, do y'all think I'm a narcissist? Be honest. One's in chat if you think I'm a narcissist. Two's if you don't think I'm a narcissist. One, you 100% are. Yes, one. Some twos. I'm seeing some twos. A lot of ones. Okay, Bronny. Calm down, dude. Calm down. Alright, well, since y'all think I'm a narcissist, chat, let's take a narcissist test. Choose how accurately each statement reflects you. So the left is strongly disagree, the right is strongly agree, and then this is like neutral. I like to be the center of attention. Okay. I'm a live streamer, so I feel like obviously I like to be the center of attention. I don't like it too much, so I'll put it like in agree, but not like strongly agree. You know what I mean? I often dream about fame and recognition. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yeah, my dream is to be the #1 streamer. Gotta strongly agree. I am content even if I'm not in the spotlight. I would say yeah. I think it depends. Like, if we're talking about my career, obviously not. But if we're talking about, like, normal social environments, I would say yeah. So I'll put it in the middle. I consider myself to be better than most people I meet. No, I disagree with that. I definitely disagree with that. Yeah, I wouldn't strongly disagree because there's a lot of people that I meet that I'm like, damn, you are dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who have their right turn signal on and then turn left. Like, yeah, I think I'm a little smarter than you. So I'm not going to put it all the way to the left, but I consider myself to be, like, on equal footing. I don't want to judge before I meet somebody, you know? I enjoy listening to others more than talking about myself. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the person. It really depends on the person. If I find someone interesting, I really enjoy listening to them talk. But I also do like talking, so it's like, I'll put it in the middle. I have a strong sense of entitlement? Nah. I often help others without expecting anything in return. I would say so. I be doing shit for people sometimes. You should see my customer service where I work, chat. You should see that. I'm low-key kind of a good Samaritan, I can't lie. Alka, I have been locked in on your dad's YouTube. It is so peak, I can't lie. You're not an electrician. How would it be peak? You're 12. Like, what do we... He makes content for electricians. Okay, alright, whatever. I often manipulate others to achieve my own ends. The thing about manipulation, though, chat, as much as I want to say no, is people manipulate most times without realizing they're manipulating, but I don't actively try and manipulate other people to achieve my goals, no. I generally accept criticism easily and learn from it. I would say yeah. Chat, am I good at taking criticism? I feel like I am. Yes, you can take this D. Alright. Okay. I feel a constant need for admiration from those around me. I don't feel a need from it. Nah, I wouldn't say I do. It's nice when I get it. You know, I'm not gonna deny that I don't like it, but I don't have a need for it, I would say. I often feel sympathy for others. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't me tooting my own horn. I think I'm a pretty sympathetic person. Compared to like my friends and like other people that I know. I feel like I definitely am sympathetic, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I generally use people for my own benefit. Here's the thing, I feel like everybody does this subconsciously, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say neutral because I feel like it's human nature to, but I'm also not going out of my way to do it consciously. I find it hard to discuss other problems without mentioning my own experiences. Yeah. Because low-key, like, anybody that talks to me about, like, relationship problems and advice and stuff, I'll be like, yeah, I see what you're saying because I've gone through this too, so here's how I would fix it. Is that narcissistic? I felt like that was just a way of, like, helping them understand. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I definitely find it hard to discuss other people's problems without mentioning my own experiences. I do. I make sure people know every time I achieve something. I think it depends on the thing. Like, with content, obviously I'm going to tell you anytime I hit a milestone. But there are definitely certain people that I don't want to tell achievements to, so I'd say no. I prefer relationships where I am dominant. Yeah. Nah, I disagree with that. I really like to be on equal footing. I'm a big believer in that. I think, here's my hot take. Don't cancel me for this. Here's my hot take. I think that men and women are not equal, but men are better at some things and women are better at some things, and their inequalities complement each other. Does that make sense? I don't think anybody in this world is equal. I don't think any group of people are equal at all. I think what makes humanity beautiful is that we are all unequal, but we all are unique in our own certain ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm very like selective with the type of people I let in a relationship. But dominance is not one of those things that I'm like really a harper on. So I'm low-key gonna say no. I don't mind when others take the lead. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I often feel happy for others' successes. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I've always thought this was a flaw of mine. Because I would always be, like, if we were on a sports team or anything like that, I would always be the one cheering my teammates on, and I'd be the one that was always cheering but never getting cheered for. I feel very strongly that I'm happy for others' successes. You know what I mean? I definitely do that. I need others to praise me in order to feel good about myself. Nah. I frequently envy others' success or abilities. I low-key do have kind of a jealousy problem, chat. I won't even lie with y'all. I actually won't even lie with y'all. I won't even lie with y'all. Let me move my chat. Why is it on the left? What the? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, chat. Like, seeing what really f***ed me over is in this content game, a lot of the industry really is comparative. You know what I mean? So, like, I see other people that are in the same spot as me, and they shoot off in a way shorter of a time, and it makes me think, like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of gets me down on myself because I'm comparing myself so much to other people, which in turn does make me envy, like, what they have. You know what I mean? So I would say, yeah. I feel most comfortable when I am leading a conversation. I would say, yeah. Damn, am I a narcissist? Holy shit. Damn. But I feel like that's normal, no? I don't know. Maybe I am a narcissist. I find expressing humility to be quite difficult. Nah. I honestly, that's kind of a flex if you express humility. I feel reassured even in absence of others' praise. Yeah, absolutely. I often compare myself with others to see if I am successful. If there was a button that was all the way over here, I'd click it. This is probably my biggest flaw. I'm not gonna lie. And maybe that's like because of the industry I'm in. Like Mirix in the chat just said, that's why you're a streamer. Maybe that's just because of the industry I'm in. But even if it's not, I'd definitely be doing that. For certain. I believe others should recognize my talents and achievements more often. No. I constantly think about being more successful than others. I'd put myself neutral because, like, it's hard for me to not, when I'm surrounded by people, when I'm going to my job or, like, my family members who aren't really achieving their goals and they're constantly telling me that, like, I can't do it and they're constantly doubting me. It's really hard for me to not think about being more successful than them, especially out of, like, revenge or out of, like, spite of them. You know what I mean? So I definitely do that for sure. But it's not in, like, a narcissistic way where it's like I think I'm better than them. So I don't know. I think I'll put this, but I won't put, like, strongly agree, you know? I'm generally able to celebrate others' successes without personal jealousy. Damn, I'm only 25% done? Shit! This is like an actual test. Alka, I knew you had a jealousy problem because you're always jealous of me because I look so good. That's the wrong you're, bro. And you know what? Maybe I'm jealous of the looks. I am not jealous of the grammar, motherfucker. Yeah, nah. You better get your ass into some Grammarly, gang. We're gonna be here for some time. No, you're completely right. I am generally able to celebrate other successes without personal jealousy. Yeah, I'd agree. Unless they're, like, obviously in my competition. You know what I mean? Then it's different. I rarely feel threatened by someone else's achievements. Again, it depends. Are they in my industry or are they not in my industry? I would low-key say no. I'm very competitive. Honestly, I'm very competitive. So I would low-key say no. I do definitely, like, get a little irk in me when someone else achieves something that, like, I know. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just competitive. Maybe I'm a narcissist. Maybe I do have a problem. Shit, I'm starting to realize, chat, like, damn. I tend to think I deserve more than others. Nah. Appearing as successful is more important than actual accomplishments? No. I often feel extraordinarily unique, unlike others. I definitely do think I'm unique, I won't lie. Extraordinarily unique, though? I don't know. I'm gonna put I don't know, because I don't know. I want to make sure that people are aware of my achievements. Yeah, low-key, I'm a content creator. Bragging about my successes come naturally to me? Nah. I actually, when people ask me what I do or, like how my career is going, I honestly cringe. Like, I don't really want to talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't know, because I feel like I'm bragging every time I do it, and I don't want to do it. I struggle to humble myself in front of others? Nah. I'm quick to dismiss feedback from others? Nah, I low-key ask for a lot of feedback. Chat, y'all could say right now, like, I constantly ask y'all, like, do y'all like my streams? Like, what should I do today? Like, I'm very much open to criticism, you know what I mean? I receive criticism as a personal attack. Nah. I'm generally okay with blending into the crowd without recognition. Yeah. I would be happy achieving great things without recognition. Nah, because low-key, at least in my career, the recognition is the great thing. You know what I mean? I am open to accepting my faults. I would say so. I don't mind admitting to my mistakes to others. Yeah, I would say so too. Receiving praise is less important than doing a good job. I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. I feel happy when others acknowledge my greatness. Absolutely. I feel like everybody does, though. That doesn't make you a narcissist. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody does. We love you, Alka. You made me like ginger girls. And then you said good aim in my chat. Okay. I often fantasize about having power and influence over others. No, that's mad weird, gang. I have more natural talents than anyone else I know. Nah. I want others to admire my lifestyle. I'd say yeah. I believe I am destined for greatness. I will strongly agree with that. Strong. I don't give a f. I think what makes someone destined for greatness is if they believe they are destined for greatness. I think that self-belief and that confidence and that faith in your own abilities is what separates people from the ability to have that lifestyle or not. So as much as that might make me a narcissist, I have to think that way in this industry, you know? I have to. If I'm able to build up this huge, crazy community with Siege, I know and I fully believe that I have confidence that I'll be great in any other content avenue that I choose to go into, you know? I often think about displaying my accomplishments. Not really. I feel slighted when others notice my contributions. Nah. Being in charge makes me feel important. Well, like, yeah, you're in charge, so you are important. I feel like that's not even crazy to say. You know what I mean? Being punched in the face makes me feel hurt. No f***ing shit, dude. I don't mind when others receive the recognition I deserve. Well, then you'd be receiving the recognition if you deserved it. I don't even agree with the question. I'm gonna put neutral because I don't really know how to respond. I am generally okay with blending into the crowd. This has already been asked. This has already been asked. Yeah, bro. I'm good. I believe I should ascend socially faster than others. No, I am socially, chat. I'm socially pretty rich, but I can't lie. Why not stream a different game? I'm not really, like, that big into gaming, to be honest. There's not another game that I'm really passionate about. I'm more so just passionate about being myself. And what I've heard from every big, like, creator for streaming say when it comes to streaming is that, like, if you want to grow, you have to truly be yourself as much as humanly possible. And video games just aren't really my thing anymore, man. The only video game I've been, like, that passionate about was Siege, and the game is, like, dying, like, very much dying. I did the test. You need to pay to find the results. Are we serious, bro? How much? If it's $5, I'll pay it. How much, though? It's $2, I'll pay that, whatever. I have no problem dealing with people who don't recognize my worth. I do have a problem with that. I think if you're around people that don't recognize your worth as a human being, you shouldn't be around them. Like, if you're in a relationship with a girl that doesn't recognize your worth as a human being or as a boyfriend, you shouldn't be with that girl. You shouldn't be with friends like that. I don't think that's narcissistic. I think that's just having self-respect. I often think people are jealous of me. No. I think, honestly, quite on the contrary. I appreciate sincere feedback even if it's critical. Yes. I sometimes exaggerate my achievements to make an impression. Low-key, yeah. I'd be doing that. This used to be a big issue. I used to, like, exaggerate and, like, tell white lies a lot when I was younger. I've gotten better about it now, but, like, yeah, low-key, I'd be doing that. I enjoy discussing my achievements more than hearing about others. I don't really care. I'd say no. I struggle to accept roles that are beneath my potential. Yeah. Yeah, low-key, like, when I quit Siege, obviously I stopped making money because, not like, everybody that watched my YouTube videos watched me for Siege. So, obviously, if I stop doing Siege, my view count's going to decline, right? And because of that, obviously, the money went away, so I had to get a job, which is fine. I knew that was going to happen before I even quit Siege. But, like, knowing that I had to go get a job when I believe I'm destined for so much more, and I've been in a position where I didn't need one because I was making money from content, to this day, like, even today when I was at work, I hated it, dude. I hate it. It's so much, like, working a 9 to 5 and having a normal, monotonous life is fine if you've never had greatness before. It sucks, but, like, it's so much worse when you've had a taste of it and now you know you can have it. So, yeah, I definitely do struggle to accept roles that are beneath my potential, for sure. If I face setbacks, I prefer to blame external factors. No, I'm extremely self-critical. I'm genuinely interested in others' opinions about me. Yes. I care more about winning than about fairness. I'd say no. I'm comfortable assuming leadership roles. Absolutely. I get motivated by competition and recognition? Absolutely. When criticized, I tend to hold resentment? Nah. I see major achievements as a natural result of my capabilities. No, I think this is a toxic mindset to have. If you see major achievements as, like, expected, because then there's no reward, you know what I mean, for anything major that goes on in your life. And then when you lose, it makes it so hard for you to lose because you just expect yourself to win instead of getting happy for yourself to win. And as a kid, I really struggled with this, but now I'm really grateful for every single achievement that I've accomplished, even if I worked really hard for it, because I know a lot of people on this planet don't have that, you know? I dread being ordinary like everyone else. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe that makes you narcissistic. I don't know. But I cannot live and sleep at night knowing that, like, I have a possibility of just wasting my one shot on planet Earth. You know what I mean? Everybody has one shot. 75 years on average to make one life. There's no way I want to, like, let that be normal, you know? I often feel that people do not appreciate my talents properly. Nah. Controlling a situation makes me feel powerful. Not really. I find it difficult to empathize with others' feelings. Strongly disagree. Like I said, chat, I feel like I'm a really empathetic person. I've been told that by a lot of people. I believe that having more resources naturally makes me superior. Not really. I have a difficult time admitting when I'm wrong. Nah. I often dismiss the opinions of those I feel are less successful than I am. Honestly, yeah. No, I'm gonna put strongly agree. And I actually think this is something that y'all should do. I think when it comes to opinions on success, you should never listen to people who aren't where you want to be. I'll be honest. Ever. The only people that, like, will genuinely hate on you in any industry that you're trying to go into are people that don't have what you have or are at the same level you are. I've never received hate from any content creator, streamer, anything like that is bigger than me and it is where I want to be. So it makes it really hard for me to take opinions about my career from people who don't even know how YouTube or social media works. You know what I mean? If it's opinions on, like, life stuff, then I don't think it matters your success level, which I think is actually what this question is hinting at. But I think when it comes to your own success, you shouldn't be listening to people below you. So I would low-key put it in the middle because it's really dependent. I feel it's important to appear flawless in every aspect of my life. No. I'm quick to blame others for my mistakes. No. I avoid friendships with people who I don't feel are on my level. Not really. I believe it's important that others recognize my efforts and contributions. Not really, no. I believe I deserve to be treated better than others. No. I often feel like I have to prove myself to others. Yeah. I enjoy being in situations where I can be the center of attention. I mean, yeah, I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer, so. I think I have a unique perspective that others cannot understand. I would strongly agree, but I don't even think it's because I'm special. I think it's because everybody has a unique perspective that others can't understand. Oh, no, I didn't see the can't understand part. I think everyone has a unique perspective, but I don't think I have one that, like, other people can't understand. You know what I mean? I feel personally offended when people don't see my value. Not really. It's asking the same question like 5 times in a row, by the way. Others often look to me for guidance and insight. Nah. I thrive when I know others are envious of me. I would low-key say no. I believe my opinions are often more valuable than those of others. No. I find it hard to let go of grudges. I low-key, chat, I would say, yeah, I do find it pretty hard to let go of grudges. Like, if you wrong me in some way, I think about that shit a lot, I won't lie. It's hard for me to get over it. I often expect things to go my way. No. No, I expect everything to constantly be going wrong. Like, constantly, chat. Constantly. I believe people should take my needs into account at all times. No. I feel like it's more important to push my agenda Jesus. Agenda than to compromise. No. I often compare my life to others and think I am more successful. Definitely not. Especially after I quit Siege. Like, you know, I knew when I quit Siege, bro, that my views were gonna fall off, because obviously my Siege audience doesn't want to watch the videos because they're there for Siege. So, like, after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not more successful than the average person, but I will get there. I would rather be right than be happy in a discussion. Nah. I have a tendency to take credit for team efforts. No. I hated people like that. I hated people like that. When I do not receive the recognition I feel I deserve, I become resentful. I would low-key say yeah. I feel like there's a lot of times that I'll put in work to like group efforts and stuff, and then if people don't, you know, like recognize that and appreciate it, I definitely can become resentful. But I feel like that's having self-respect, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm narcissistic for that. I don't know. I'd rather be right because I'm right. Okay. Found the narcissist in my chat. I often believe that my success is a result of my hard work while others is merely lucky. Nah, I think success is like 90% hard work, 10% luck. I prefer tasks where I can shine rather than working collaboratively. I don't really give a fuck, so I would say no. I find it challenging to mix with people who are less ambitious than I am. I would say no. I think the smart decision if you're somebody who's trying to achieve stuff is to surround yourself with like-minded people. But also, if I'm around people that aren't like-minded, I don't really find it challenging to be around them. I typically expect that my efforts will yield immediate recognition. No. As a content creator, you will learn very, very quick that your efforts do not receive immediate recognition. Okay, I think this is the last page, chat. Last page. Lock in, lock in. I believe that as I improve myself, others will recognize my greatness. I mean, yeah, but that's kind of common sense. I often need validation for my achievements from others to feel fulfilled. No. I feel justified in putting myself first in most situations. I don't know. I think it depends on the situation. I often fantasize about an idealized version of myself in the future. Absolutely. Yeah, I have a lot of goals about myself, so yeah. I prefer relationships that emphasize my strengths and ignore my weaknesses. All right, chat. What do y'all think I'm going to get, chat? Do y'all think I'm going to be a narcissist? Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm going to click the finish button, okay? 3, 2, 1. Get my results. Oh, no. Chat, do y'all want to see if I'm narcissistic? What are y'all's predictions? Do y'all think I'm going to be not narcissistic, lightly narcissistic, moderately narcissistic, highly narcissistic, or extremely narcissistic? One of the five. One of the five. Y'all think I'm going to be a little? 67%. Moderately. Y'all think I'm going to be moderately narcissistic? Lightly? Okay, chat. Well, y'all were right. I was moderately narcissistic. Your score places you in the category of individuals who demonstrate moderately narcissistic traits. This suggests that while you have some capacity for empathy and self-reflection, your self-interest often takes precedence. Wow, okay. So I'm savable, is what they're telling me. One of your key characteristics is a pronounced desire for validation and recognition. Damn. You likely have a strong awareness of your strengths, but may exaggerate them to gain admiration. Damn. Experience difficulty accepting criticism, may struggle to acknowledge your weaknesses, and you find comfort in accomplishments, but can become discontented if they don't meet your expectations. I know this is definitely true. Okay. You're committed to personal growth. Your moderately narcissistic score indicates a fluctuating commitment to self-improvement. That's true. Self-improvement is huge for me. Maybe learn how to read first. Yo, you, Dapper. Like, you, Dapper. Isn't everyone a little narcissistic? I would say, yeah. It says I'm moderately, though. So I'm slightly above average, is what they're saying. I mean, fair. So what I can do to improve is cultivate humility by acknowledging the contributions of others, practice self-acceptance, developing the habit of celebrating others' achievements without immediately comparing them to your own, work on expanding genuinely with others, and strive to maintain a balance between pursuing personal success and fostering healthy relationships. Interesting. My strive to be successful has almost gotten to a point where, like, it's low-key cooking my self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Does a moderately narcissistic score indicate that I'm selfish? While it suggests that a degree of self-focus, it doesn't necessarily mean you are selfish. Okay. So yeah, I'm like a half narcissist. Damn, that's bad. Is that bad? Is that bad? Chad, am I cooked? Chad, is that bad? Is that bad? I don't know. Damn. I definitely learned some stuff about myself today that I didn't know at the very least. It's chill twin, you want the bag? I will say I low-key do think in order to be successful at the capacity that I want it, it low-key does kind of take a little bit of narcissism. I can't lie. Or at least a little bit of self-delusion. But shit, I guess I'm a narcissist. Well, chat, that was it for the narcissism test. Hold on, I spilled some coffee on my desk.